cool to see kids interested in science, isn't it? Like we're at the Frost Museum, and I was here last week, a few days ago, and just watching kids interact with the displays and the exhibits. It's really cool, and it's also interesting too to see the parents. They're like, all right, come on. Those are the parents at your event are probably like, okay, the coral's great. Yeah, that's awesome. But like the kids are so full of imagination and wonder. It's cool to see that, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I love it. I think the awesome thing about kids is they're so genuinely curious, and they're.
Yeah.
I've watched things, sometimes as kids, they're like little scientists. They're testing out things, and everybody has different parenting styles, but sometimes that's kind of brought out, and it kind of leaves as you go to adulthood, and we're getting faced with these realities. But I think it's so important to keep some of that curious nature of kind of experimenting with things, and that's one thing, especially with my organization, as a scientist, why I fell in love with art was its ability to bring awareness and connect people. We sometimes get very lost and diverted on our tracks.
Yeah.
And so with my organization within the Alliance, the goal is really to connect different disciplines to really accelerate innovation. And we're doing a lot of that in South Florida, working with museums to also really show and demonstrate education and outreach, but further academia to do research. And the more and more that we collaborate, I think the more we can do.
So you mentioned like creating opportunities yourself, not having to rely on like grants and things like that. Can you elaborate on that a little more, in like different ways that you go about like generating like revenue to do these types of things?
Yeah. So traditionally, a lot of the research work I've done in the past is based off of grants. And unfortunately, there's not that much funding for all the things that we should be doing. So developing sustainable business models is very important. I think in any type of restoration field, whether that's terrestrial, preserving any species, making it into a feasible economic model that will support that work without relying on grants. And it also creates a non-competitive space. So how I've been really integrating that into Ocean Rescue Alliance is utilizing art provides ecotourism opportunity that actually can provide an ROI for hotels, cities, and counties, because now they have a dive destination that will generate bringing people to the site, bringing awareness, but that actually then helps fund doing the restoration work that we're doing at the sites as well. Developing programs that integrate the community, where instead of, let's say, fishing, we can bring guests to outplant corals, or bring the community to outplant and restore that. And that creates this then story that they might want to come see the coral in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
And it creates this beautiful relationship, kids testing their voice.
So we got these loud, if you can hear it, so there's some kids testing. There's this display or this interactive exhibit where you can talk into something and then like feet away, then other people can hear it. So it's kids shouting into something right now. Experiments, full of curiosity.
That's good. But yeah, so on that funding bridge, we really use art, developing programs that can integrate community, but also we're now also doing celebratory and memorial reefs, plaques, and that's another way to connect, but also fund doing restoration versus traditional methods. Another unique one that we've been getting into a little bit more recently is on the tech community side, where we're doing different NFTs, non-fungible tokens, that are ocean conservation art pieces that actually directly connect to funding restoration work. So every single NFT comes with something that's very tangible that's done with it, whether that's creating a reef or outplanting coral, or even where people can come dive with us and come on one of the dives to experience it themselves. So those are some of the avenues, but I think we'll have so much opportunity to expand.